With more than 150,000 Americans dead from coronavirus, Donald Trump said, "It is what it is." With more than 30 million unemployed, Donald Trump says, "Great." With so much pain and suffering, and even more now that Republicans have failed to make a deal on an extra $600 unemployment insurance benefit, Donald Trump tweeted, "Great jobs numbers." In what amounted to a last-minute campaign speech from his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey, Donald Trump said about the jobs report this.
That's big stuff. That's big news and great news. We're getting them even in a pandemic, which is disappearing. It's going to disappear.
The pandemic is not disappearing. Today, the United States got closer to reporting 5 million cases of the coronavirus. The United States has suffered 161,657 deaths from the coronavirus. 1,333 deaths reported just today. It's not disappearing. And here's the reality about today's jobs numbers. The unemployment rate dropped in July to 10.2%, still the highest since the Great Recession. The unemployment rate for Hispanic workers, 2.7%, higher. For black workers, it's 4.4% higher. 1.8 million jobs were added in July, but the cumulative number of those employed is still the lowest since the Great Recession. Stock markets are actually near record highs right now. The S&P 500 is within striking distance of its all-time high. When I started my career as a financial reporter, the markets were a better barometer of the economy. They're not now because economic policies in this country are rigged in favor of the wealthy. That's the bigger problem that has sealed the economic fate of generations of Americans, particularly black and brown Americans. Let me lay out for you how this works. Stocks are high for two reasons right now. First, investing in stocks became the only game in town when the Federal Reserve made it easier to borrow money by slashing interest rates. And lower interest rates made buying real estate the best deal it's been in over a decade for those who can afford it. So money begets money. The rich get richer. Meanwhile, congressional negotiations for a coronavirus relief bill collapsed today. The $600 in enhanced unemployment benefits expired last Friday. The federal moratorium on evictions expired 2 weeks ago. More local bans on evictions are set to expire in the coming days. At least 5.4 million people have lost their health insurance because of the pandemic. But Donald Trump is now, currently, as we speak, trying again to gut the Affordable Care Act. I'm a capitalist, but it doesn't have to be this way. Americans have been made to fear policies that redistribute wealth. But think about it. The American system has redistributed wealth from the poor to the rich for a long time. The poor work for low wages. The rich profit from it. If the rich can't benefit from workers who are willing to be paid low enough wages to make cheap products, those jobs move elsewhere where people who can work for less will do them. The poor people who lose their jobs in America then lose their health care and their homes. The rich people buy those homes using money that they borrow at near zero interest rates. The rich keep getting richer. It is the American way for redistributing wealth. It doesn't have to be that way, though. Joining me now, Austan Goolsbee, the former chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors for President Obama. He's currently the professor of economics at the Booth School of Business at the University of Chicago and knows a lot about these things because he was an advisor to the president during the last election. Austan, it is kind of remarkable. I'm staring here. I have charts of the S&P 500 next to me all the time. It's kind of amazing. We're almost at record highs in the stock market. House prices are up because wealthy people are getting 30-year mortgages at under 3% or paying cash for distressed properties. And people are on the streets. People are without jobs. People are losing their unemployment.
I mean, it's crazy. You've been a financial journalist 25 years. I feel like we've been talking about this for 19 of those 25 years. Yep. And we always said when we've talked that the stock market is not the economy. It is a barometer of some things, but it is not the economy. And nowhere has that been made more plain than in the last 6 months in the United States. When we had a monthly job number where we lost 22 million jobs in a single month and the stock market went up, you got to wonder, either the market believes that this is going to be a short-run phenomenon, that COVID will be a short-run shock, and they can get back to regular business soon, and I hope they're right, or else they're kind of in la-la land. And right now, we're all hoping it's the first and not the second.
I want to talk to you about something that Kevin Hassett said. He held the same position you had held in the Trump administration. he talks about something that we've been hearing in Republican circles a lot. The $600 that has been added to the unemployment, the state unemployment rolls, the federal unemployment stuff that's run out. He says it encourages people to stay home. And we have heard that from some business owners, particularly restaurant owners, who say they can't get their staff back because they make more on unemployment than they do working. Now, on one level, that's a problem with wages, right? When unemployment pays you more than work, that's got something to do with wages. But how do we address that issue? How do you address that allegation by Republicans?
I mean, how I address that allegation right now, we're not talking about in normal times. We're not even talking about during normal recessions, when things like what's the replacement rate on unemployment versus going to work make a difference. We're talking about a pandemic. And what I would say is there are now 5 significant economic research studies of this exact question. How much has enhanced unemployment reduced the willingness of people to work? And all 5 of those studies show quite convincingly that the answer is nothing. That's not true in the data. And if you look at last month or the month before or the month before that, the 3 months that we've had strong job creation, it has been concentrated exactly among the people that this theory says should not be going to work. It's just not true. And so I said that it's kind of offensive, and I do think it is offensive for the White House at a time when the data show that there are literally 5 out-of-work people searching for jobs for every job vacancy there is, the highest ratio that we have ever had in the data. At a time like that, to say you people are unemployed because you're choosing to is outrageous. That's not true at all. If only for the fact that 5 million people lost their health insurance when they lost their jobs. And oh, by the way, there's a pandemic raging out of control. So they're desperately trying to get a job back so that they will not lose their health insurance.
Yeah, I think most people choose work. They like the work. They certainly in this country like the benefits from work. Let me ask you about this other issue. Mitch McConnell says he's got about 20 people in his caucus who say enough is enough. This is hurting us from a debt perspective. All this money is adding up to debt, and you know they're not really prepared to spend a good deal of money more on unemployed people. We have endless money available for corporations, as we've just proved. And I think the Federal Reserve did the right thing by making sure corporations can get money so that we don't end up in a credit freeze like we were in 2008 and companies have to lay off yet more people. But the bottom line is we're cool with money for corporations, which has made the stock market as frothy as it is right now. We can't seem to do that for regular people. When it comes to regular people, the concern is about debt. When it comes to tax cuts for wealthy and the corporations, the concern doesn't seem to be about debt. When it comes to wars, the concern doesn't seem to be about debt. But when it comes to poor people getting a few $100 a week, we can't let the debt get out of control.
Well, that's certainly their attitude. And it's not just poor people. Tens of millions of people lost their jobs, from the middle class, lower middle class, low income people. Anybody who can't do their job from home has suffered the greatest during this crisis. And the juxtaposition that you raised, I think, is the right one, that before COVID, we had $2 trillion in a windfall tax giveaway to big corporations in the Trump tax plan. And now we have a $5 trillion Fed lending facility for big business. We've got hundreds of billions of dollars for small businesses. The president says he's going to, by executive order, change the tax policy to cut the payroll tax to employers. And when you say, what about the people who are actually suffering? They're saying, well, we want to make sure that we don't give them the wrong incentive, and we don't have the money to do that. I'm puzzled by that. Because if you just look at the raw political calculus, it seems insane to me. I mean, I'm an economist, so don't ask my messaging advice, but it does seem kind of odd when there are perhaps more unemployed people, out of work people, than in any year in American history, that you would be saying, no, you're not deserving. And that somehow the people that are deserving are the people who already got $2 trillion of tax cuts and $5 trillion of lending facility. That's who we need to give more tax breaks do. I just don't get it. I don't see how that's a winning argument.
Austan, good to see you, my friend. Thank you. Here's to another 19 years of conversations like this. Austan Goolsbee is the former chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors. The pain that so many Americans are feeling is not reflected, as we said, in the stock market. America is an unequal country, and the pandemic has hit unequally, health-wise and jobs-wise. Coming up next, I'll talk with Richie Torres. He's a New York City council member who's poised to become the next Democratic congressman representing the Bronx, about what's happening in his neighborhood.
This summer, we've all got miles to make up. Miles to the job site, to the campsite, and anything else we set our sights on. Miles back to those who can make this summer mean more than ever. We can help you get the most out of those miles during the Ram Summer Clearance event.
Right now, get 0% financing for 72 months on the 2020 Ram 1500. Go to ram.com to shop and buy today.
What you working on?
Oh, just puttering, tinkering, commemorating bizarre mishaps that Farmers has seen and covered. Had a little extra time on my hands lately.
And that?
Oh, this? Just an app I've been working on. It's called Signal from Farmers, and it could save you up to 15% on your auto insurance. Simply sign up, drive, and save. But I'm sure whatever you've been working on is equally impressive.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
When pets were given the choice between cable and sling, they had no idea which one saves them money. You're not an animal. Make the smart choice and switch to Sling. Get the best of cable for the best price.
Sleep cool as the weather heats up. Purple's summer sale. For a limited time, get a set of free Purple sheets and adjustable plush pillow when you buy a Purple mattress. Up to $193 value for free. Only the Purple Grid gives you total no-pressure support. In other words, it's soft where you want it, firm where you need it, and comfortably cool all night. Take advantage of the summer sale and visit purple.com/TV today or call 1-888-5-PURPLE.